We live in a world in which animal agriculture, the raising of cows, chickens, pigs for consumption, the industry of that is responsible for almost 20% of global greenhouse emissions. So we've got an entire theme here on climate change. Well, according to the United Nations, the single greatest contributor to climate change is animal agriculture. Livestock accounts for 3.2 billion, my friends, 3.2 billion tons of carbon dioxide emissions every year. So for those of you who are buying better fridges, better air conditioners, not using hairspray or whatnot, that's great, do it. But if you change your diet, your impact on the earth is going to be exponentially greater. The water. According to the UN, by 2040, the world will have half the water it needs. In India, we have farmers committing suicide every year because their fields are desiccated. Surely they are our neighbor. The amount of water that goes into the production of a pound of beef is the amount of water that you use if you bathe every day in 6 months. And what that means is, if you care about water on this planet, are you prepared to refrain from bathing for 6 months to offset the water usage? Chicken is about 1/3. Now, I share this with you, and it's important to interject for a moment. This is not about, oh my God, that's so depressing, oh my God, I feel guilty. This is not shaming or guilt-inducing, this is empowering. Because what it means is every single time you choose to eat vegetarian, you are saving that water, saving that grain. The amount of grain that goes into the production of a pound of beef is between 10 and 16 pounds of grain. And what that means, my friends, is every time I choose to eat meat, I am literally saying, I deserve the food of 15 other people.
Genesis tells how the first humans were placed on earth. The Hebrew words in Genesis chapter 2 verse 15 are le'ovda u'l'shomra, to work the land and to protect it. In other words, sustainable development. That is the charge for humanity, to be able to have an earth of which we produce and we develop in a manner that is sustainable. And one of the cardinal principles of Jewish teaching, which every Jewish child is meant to be brought up to understand as an ethical imperative, is the prohibition against waste. This is based on Deuteronomy chapter 20 verse 19, where there is a prohibition against cutting down fruit trees, even in a situation of war where you have to defend yourself. In other words, nothing can justify wanton destruction, even of the material world. And this is extended within Jewish legal tradition, within the Talmud, and therefore the corpus of traditions, to mean any kind of waste. Any kind of waste is an act of impiety. The other fundamental principle that is relevant to the subject that we are addressing is the prohibition in our tradition of causing cruelty to animals. This is a fundamental prohibition. It's not a secular idea, it is a fundamental religious teaching. Yes, it's true, within Jewish tradition there is a mandate that enables people to be able to consume living things as a concession to human needs, and this is clearly the language of concession. And probably there were times and places where it was difficult for people to be able to get their necessary nutrients without resorting to some form of animal protein. But it's clear that this is not the ideal. It's not the vision of the Garden of Eden, where Adam and Eve are vegans, nor of the messianic age of Isaiah, when the lion and the lamb lie down with the wolf and the cub. and you have a situation of where there is no destruction, that ultimate vision is far more in sync with the Eastern vision of ahimsa and of non-violence as an ideal for humanity. But if there is that need, Judaism lays down strict restrictions so that must be minimal cruelty. Anything of wanton cruelty is, again, a total desecration.
My first movement towards vegetarianism was because of how we treat animals. Later on, as I evolved, I began to understand that you don't eat animal protein. It's unnecessary. That dynamic health and vitality and vigor, flexibility, slowing down of the aging process, eliminating the condition for disease, happens much better when you're not putting animal byproducts in your body temple. So my next level of evolution around vegetarianism and ultimately veganism was around health, the dynamic of health. When I drive by and I see McDonald's and I see Carl's Jr. and I see those KFC, I call that death row. Mother Earth is sacred. Scientists are now telling us that the vibration of the planet is raising. Shaman are telling us that it's alive. There's a world that we can begin to see spiritually. We want to lift our vibration by our thought, our word, our conversation, and our action. Everybody begin to allow the emergence of a kind and just, compassionate world that works for the highest and best within us all. It can start with your fork.
In the research I did for the United Nations University, I realized agriculture had become like war. And it had become like war because it had come from war. Every chemical we use in industrial farming is a war chemical. Whether its origins is Xylon B that was used in the concentration camps to kill millions, or as poison gases, that's where the expertise began. And it should have been folded up. After the Nuremberg trials, we should have had no chemicals on this planet. What began as tools for genocide have become tools of ecocide and genocide. The fact that just in the last few decades, since the chemicalization of the world spread, the recent Living Planet report has said 60% of all species have gone, 83% of freshwater species, and I work with seed. I save seeds as my sacred duty for this beautiful earth. 93% of cultivated diversity is gone. Species extinction, I already mentioned, it's 1,000 times more than the natural rate. And every report of the UN, whether it be the biodiversity panel or it be the Living Planet Index, they're all talking about agriculture and land use as the single biggest driving force for species extinction.
God himself created himself. He himself created the word of God. In second place, he fashioned the creation and nature. Seated within creation, he beholds it with delight. He himself is the giver, and by his own pleasure, he bestows mercy, and by his own pleasure, compassion and forgiveness. He himself is the knower of all. He gives life, and he also takes it away. The creation is in the creator, and the creator is in the creation, totally pervading and permeating all places. By his graciousness, we see creation. Within creation is fear, and within it is happiness. By his power, the entire creation exists. Within creation are the Vedas and the Puranas and the holy scriptures of the Jewish, Christian and Islamic faiths. Within creation we eat, drink and dress, and within it exists love. Within creation comes life, species of all kinds and colors. Within creation all living beings of the world exist. Within creation exists virtues and vices. Within God's creation is honor and dishonor. Within creation, wind, water, fire exists. Within creation, earth and dust exists. Everything is within God's creation. He is only He only is the all-powerful creator. It's through God's command and will things happen. He pervades the creation. He's absolutely unrivaled. We are part of him. He's part of us. The greatest challenge that we all face today is the challenge of protecting the earth and its climate. Because of disconnect, we are disconnected with climate, we are disconnected with Mother Earth, with water, with everything. If we stay on our current course, we can expect increasingly devastating natural disasters, widening shortages of food and water, mass migration and threats to human health and security. These effects will hurt all of us, most especially those already struggling with extreme poverty. There is disconnect with the poor. Guru Granth Sahib Ji, our highest Sikh spiritual authority, provides constant inspiration for us to demonstrate our care and indebtedness to the mother planet. Japji Sahib, the first chapter of the sacred scripture, requires us to revere it as a dharamsal. Just like Abrahamic faiths, we have dharmic faiths in the East. So we are informed this mother planet is a place of worship. That's the primary purpose we are here. Pray, serve, sing his praises. That's why we are on this planet. Everything else is secondary.
It's very, very important what has been shared to practice in our life. Everyone is talking about life is sacred. This planet is sacred. The plant kingdom is sacred. I remember when I was taken to the forest, the first lesson in the jungle was given to me, because for every offering to the divine, we need some leaves of the flowers in the morning, according to Hindu tradition. There was plenty of flowers in the valley of flowers is there. As you know, we come from that land. Billions and billions of flowers are there. Millions and millions of plants are there. And I was in the area of Badrinath, where the Tulsi plant is in number of billions. But still, the first lesson was given to me, even you have to offer to the divine for your worship sakes, you must ask for the permission from Tulsi plant. You cannot pluck the Tulsi or the flower without the permission from the plant. That much reverence was taught to me in my childhood. The second mantra was given to me, the first mantra of the Upanishads, the essence of all the Hindu wisdom. I never say Hindu wisdom because it's a universal wisdom. Whatever has been discussed there, not for Hindus, but for all. All and all what I shared the mantra also, may all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. Allness. This mantra is being forgotten today. Allness and oneness. So I was told the first mantra, Isha Vasya Midam Sarvam Yakkincha Jagatyam Jagattena Tyaktena Bhunjitaha Magritaha Kasya Siddhanam. The whole universe is pervaded by the divine. It's not made of God, but it's by the God and made of God. Even it shares further, whatever is being given to you, you are not the master of the earth. You are not the master of this planned kingdom. You are just mere the custodian. You are the custodian, and how to use it. Respected Sadhviji, in the beginning when she started, she shared, there is not a shortage of land, shortage of food, or shortage of water. It's not a land shortage, or food shortage, or water shortage. If there is any shortage, there is a global consciousness shortage. In this mantra, the first mantra tells you, live consciously. Live consciously. Whatever is being given to you, ma kridaha, don't be greedy. Let us draw the line between the need and the greed. Mahatma Gandhi said so beautifully. Today we are celebrating this year, whole year, 150th anniversary of great leader of Mahatma Gandhi. And I'm glad that we are here. Mahatma Gandhi was living on the banks of the river of Sabarmati. When first Prime Minister of India went to see him. And Mahatma Gandhi, after lunch, he was washing his hands. With one glass of water was there, and he used only this much, and he kept it aside. Prime Minister said, why you are so miser? There's plenty of water flowing outside of you. You have used only this much water? And you saved all of the water? Mahatma said, yeah, you are right. But this water does not belong to me only. It belongs to all. I have to save it for the sake of all. We don't have to abuse the water. We have to respect the water. And we need to learn how to live with less. How much you need, whenever you want to buy, conscious living means, this mantra says, live consciously. Conscious living means that whatever you buy, whatever you eat, whatever you share, whatever you wear, buy, use, live, all of that consciously. Do you need that? Ask this question. Do I need it? I have it. 10 sandals, 10 chappals, 10 boots, 10 suits, 10 saris. Do I need it anymore? Just I go for shopping, there is a sign, buy one and get one free. Buy one and get two free. And even there is a sign, not buy to take it free. That you should not be greedy. Let there be a demarcation between the need and the greed. Mahatma Gandhi said very beautifully, there is always enough for everyone's need, but there is never enough for even one person's greed. Never enough. We have to draw the line.